less lethal contingencies. Alan here. So today we're going to do some further testing of the Beeman BP50. Okay. I'm still running my 16-inch long barrel, and we're running the Rare ASA by Home Defense 24, and also the expansion mod that I picked up on AliExpress. Now we're going to test this out for the first time with the expansion mod plugged just on the 12 gram CO2. Okay, so we got the plug installed. Now I know that's a lot of expansion, but this is a test, right? I want to see if that 12 grams going to be able to fill that additional expansion and give us any additional gains. It'll also be the first time that I'm shooting this particular carbine build with the 16-inch barrel on 12 gram in the handle. Okay, I've been shooting it on 800 psi high pressure air, but we're going to try it with the 12 gram CO2 and see what we get, what kind of numbers we get. We'll be using the for ammunition, we'll be using the less lethal ballistics Vindicator rounds. These are a 12.5 millimeter sized ball ammunition, okay, 50 caliber ammunition, and they are pretty much exactly and consistently 4 grams in weight. Okay, so we'll be using those in this particular test today, and we'll see how they fare, see how they stack up against the 12.65, 68, just call it 12.7 millimeter 4 gram AR Tactical Joules. We'll see how they how they match up to those. All right, so we'll be doing that here next. All right, and you know what? I forgot the magazine in the office, so I will be right back. All right, we're back. So I just had to go fetch the magazine I left in my office. All right, so we have 7 of the less lethal ballistics, 4 gram, 12.5 millimeter sized balls in here. These are called the Vindicator rounds, okay? They're kind of green in color. And they consistently weigh at 4 grams, these here. And again, they're slightly smaller than the 4 gram Joules that I've been using. But we'll see what these put up for numbers. We'll do 7 of those. And then what we'll do is I'll change out the CO2 cart, providing everything works okay, leak free with this expansion chamber plugged. And then we'll do another, we'll put in a fresh CO2 in, and we'll shoot the Joules, 7 of the Joules, same configuration, 16-inch barrel, HD24 Rare ASA with the additional expansion plugged. Okay, and we'll see what we get out of them. So let's go ahead and gas it up, make sure everything's good and tight. Plug seems to be in there. This plug had been working just fine on the back of the ASA, no leaks. It's the first time I'm using it on the back of this additional expansion mod. So let's see how it goes here. Hopefully we don't have any leaks with it. And we are unloaded. Okay, no leaks, so that's good. Everything sounded good. So we had a 12 gram in the handle, Umarex branded, and yeah, gassed up just fine. So we'll see what we get. Of course, we may not get all 7 shots. It's, you know, with this additional expansion on here being filled up, I would expect that we would see an increase in power, but we may end up getting a decrease in shot count. So we'll be testing for that as well. And again, I'm rocking the EZAIMING EZ-9051 model number, low profile green laser here, rechargeable laser that has the strobe feature. So we'll be using that today. Okay. All right, we're aired up. We have the freestanding cranny set to feet per second. And we have 7 of these in here. I'm being hopeful. I don't know if we'll get all 7 out of this CO2, but we'll see. So we got 7 of those. I'll be careful to cup my hand under the magazine, the handle, so that if the magazine does drop, I can push it back up inside. Okay. All right, we got our laser on. All right, 4 gram, 12.5 millimeter, less lethal ballistics, Vindicator rounds, 16-inch barrel, 12 gram in the handle with the additional expansion. Shot 1. (592.4 feet per second). 592.4, and the magazine did drop down. So, shot 2. 569.6 feet per second, and the mag dropped again. Shot 3. 539.7 feet per second. What was that, shot 3 or 4? That was 3, I think. That should be shot 4. Everything looks good. Everything sounds good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this will be shot 4. I did swap out my 010, okay, the small O-ring on the firing pin in here, or the piston, depending on what you call it. I did swap it out with an orange one that I got from a friend of mine here, so we'll test in that as well. Okay, 010. All right, so we should be on shot. Come on, light. There we go. Ridiculous light. I gotta change that thing out. We should be on shot 4, I think it is. But you know what? Let me verify, because I got myself all turned around. Let's see. Yeah, we were gonna be on shot 4 because I have 4 of these left. And this magazine detent looks pretty good on this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got 4 left. So, all right. Sorry about that. I got all mixed up. So we're on shot number 4. Again, 4 gram Vindicator rounds, 12 gram CO2 in the handle, 16-inch barrel, and expansion mod. Shot 4. 538.2 feet per second. That time the magazine held, it did not drop, but the round went flying at me. All right. Let's see here. Get a better look at the gun. So now we are on shot 5. Okay, shot number 5. 4 gram Vindicators. 420.2 feet per second. 420.2. Magazine didn't drop in that one. Shot number 6. 329.6 feet per second. They're definitely noticeably weaker. No magazine drop there. And not enough gas to get 7. So we only got 6. Okay. Not surprised by that. Those first couple shots were mighty powerful. So we got 6 shots, and out of the 7, but that's on a 12 gram with all that additional expansion in there. So of course you got the expansion from the HD24 tuning ASA, right, which already gave us a lot of expansion for the CO2, but then I added that additional expansion mod on there. So yeah, so that's good. I think we put up some pretty good numbers. So we're gonna go ahead and degas, and then we're gonna throw another Yeah, barely anything left in there. Nothing frosty. So we got 6 shots and then we lost our trigger pressure. So, all right. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and put another CO2. We'll let that warm up a little bit. And then we're going to repeat the test, but we're going to repeat it using the AR Tactical 4-gram Joules. These actually come in, when you weigh them, they're actually just, they're not as consistent as the Vindicators. The Vindicators, when I weighed them, came in like perfectly right at 4 grams. These are actually, they call them 4-gram, but they're actually a little lighter. They're more like 3.8 to 9-ish, you know, 3.8, I think is what I was getting when I was weighing these out. But they are slightly larger. Okay, so where we're losing, well, we're really kind of gaining, right? We're gaining in speed, feet per second, because they're a little bit lighter, so they're going to fly a little faster. They also are going to probably fly a little faster because they're a little bit larger. They're actually closer to 12.7. They actually measure out at 12.68 earlier today when I put my calipers on them. I was getting a 12.68 millimeters, so basically 12.7 millimeters. So what does that mean? Well, being that they're a little larger, they're closer to a bore match for me. The 12.5 Vindicators, they're a little heavier. Probably still going to give me good numbers, but they are slightly smaller, so there's more blow-by or air going around the ball rather than having a tighter fit or a closer match to the bore, where all that air is going to be used to efficiently drive the ammunition out of the barrel. Okay, especially when you're dealing with a long barrel like this, a 16-inch long barrel. You don't want to waste a lot of that air. So I'm expecting that these will probably still perform better. Which will have the higher joules, it's hard to say, but I suspect probably still the air, you know, the 4-gram joules, I'm thinking. So it'll be an interesting test anyways, for sure. All right, so that's what we have there, guys. While I'm talking, which is not a bad thing, it's letting this warm up a little bit, right? So I got a nice warm CO2 here, Umarex branded CO2. Okay, we're gonna put that down in here, and yeah, it doesn't feel that cold. It is a little cold, but we got a warm CO2, and we're gonna run a couple drops. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of lubrication in here. Right, which is what they recommend you do anyways, is put a couple drops of silicone lube on the end of the cartridge a little bit. This way you can keep your O-rings lubricated. All right. This is going to be the second part of the test, where we're going to do the same thing, 16-inch barrel, HD24 rear ASA, the additional expansion module here, and plugged. Okay, and we'll see what we get. Now we know we only got 6 of the 7 on the Vindicators. I imagine we're probably going to see the same results here. Even though I have 7 of these 4-gram Joules, we're probably only going to have enough gas in this configuration to shoot 6. But 6 ain't bad at all anyways, right? If you can't scare them off with 6, yeah, you know, you need a backup plan. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and gas this up again. Let's do that right now. We're unloaded. Okay, that was a good gas up there. And we are going to install the magazine of, show them to you. Okay, these are the AR Tactical 4-gram Joules. Okay, again, these are closer to like a 12.7. To be exact, I was measuring 12.68 millimeters. And again, these are just a little shy of 4 grams. Okay, I think like 3.8 is more consistent what I was getting. Okay, but they call them the 4-gram Joules. Okay, so we're going to put these up against the Vindicators and see performance-wise what we get. Okay, all right, here we go. Turn the laser back on. All right, so this is going to be the 4-gram Joules, 16-inch barrel, 12-gram in the handle. Shot 1. We'll just be calling out the feet per second. Okay. All right, here we go. Shot number 1. 591 feet per second, 591. That sounds really good. All right, shot number 2. 578.4 feet per second. Now the mag dropped again, both shots, but that second one, the ball's kind of bunched up a little bit, so I need to reload those. That was happening the other day with my steel ball bearings as well. Now I can see this is a weakness on these magazines. The pin is already starting to shift on the little detent for the mag here. So you got to watch out for that, push that pin back in. And yep, whoop. Okay, see what I mean? All right, now I got to find those rounds. So that detent it's still it's a weakness on these magazines. These magazines could use a lot of help. Let me see if I can retrieve those rounds. Pain in the butt when you have, it's such a good marker. I mean, it's an inexpensive marker, but then you go and have such a weakness being these magazines. They really are. All right, where did that other round go? Here it is. What did I shoot? 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so I got 5 back in here. I shot 2. Let's see if we can finish shooting these now. All right, so that was 2 shots, so we're on shot number 3. Again, these are the 4-gram Joules. CO2 on the handle, 16-inch barrel. I guess you can call it double expanded CO2. Shot number 3. (587 feet per second). Shot number 4. 549.2 feet per second. Shot number 5. 468.1 feet per second. No mag drops for the last couple of them there. Shot number 6, which is probably the last one we're going to get. Shot number 6. 390.7 feet per second. And power definitely dropping off a lot. Let me see if I got enough gas for shot number 7. We still have trigger pressure, so maybe we'll get another 7th shot, but it ain't going to be very high power. Shot number 7. 302.3 feet per second. All right, so we did get 7 shots, all 7 shots on that. That last shot was really low. Okay. We had a little hiccup here with the magazine malfunctioning. I had to repair that, and I had to chase my balls a little bit because they were dropping everywhere. All right. Otherwise, I think it was a pretty good test. That first shot was like 591 or something like that. That seemed pretty high up there. So we'll see what the numbers come out to say as far as the Joules, but based on that, I'm thinking definitely bore matching helps a lot. Running the ammo way too small in there, you lose a lot of power, a lot of efficiency, which translates to losing a lot of power. Even in a long barrel like this, you know, maybe even more so, I don't know. But certainly it affects it. So let's check our puncture. We had a good puncture last time. Yeah. Looks to be about a normal puncture there. All right, so that is the CO2 12-gram double expanded here. Almost triple expanded if you think about it, I guess. I guess you'd call it triple on the 16-inch long barrel. That is the Vindicators up against the 4-gram Joules. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Peace out.